What is going on, yoga teachers and leaders? Today you're going to learn how to grow a profitable online yoga business with less content. Welcome back, yoga teachers and leaders. If this is your first time seeing my face, first and foremost, I am very happy that you are here right now, especially if you are a new yoga teacher or if you're an established wellness entrepreneur. You are absolutely in the right place to make sure that you grow and build your business from states of rest and regulation. My name is Abiyala Akani. I am the founder of the EOL Yoga School. I'm a yoga teacher trainer as well as a 3 times yoga business owner. I help entrepreneurs and yoga professionals optimize your rest and your regulation to build profitable, high-impact online wellness businesses that scale and increase your wealth and your well-being. Now, I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. I'm going to keep it a buck. Most yoga teachers and entrepreneurs stay broke and stay burnt out because they are performing for the algorithm instead of utilizing their unique story to speak to their target demographic. Now, I've been here, child, where I was absolutely performing for the algorithm, and as a result of that, posting on socials was agonizing. And it was challenging because I was also seeing a decrease in my conversions as well that was affecting my sales in the back end of my business. What this led to was a lot of nonsensical postings that just did not feel aligned. I felt so disconnected from what I was posting. But what if I told you your business could actually grow faster with less content and more of your personal story? What I'm talking about is showing up deeply regulated, not from states of urgency, not from states of burnout, not from states of desperation or attachment where you're grasping for likes, where you're grasping for sales, where you're grasping for leads, but where you're sharing from thrive states to the point where it's very easy for your audience to perceive the value that you're providing them because you're communicating it in a way that speaks to their personal story. Getting out of performance mode is one of the most underrated absolutely one of the most underrated business hacks. It is one of the best ways to grow and scale your business sustainably. And it's crazy that it's not talked about, because when you are trying to grow from states of performance, you're naturally going to be in states of dysregulation or survival. So you're going to be completely misaligned with the work that you're doing. It causes you not to optimize the one piece of leverage that you have and that your target demographic is always going to align with, and that's your personal story. One of my students who graduated from our non-performative yoga teacher training utilized this methodology of storytelling style marketing to completely book and sell out her first yoga retreat in Mexico, only 2 years after graduating from our non-performative yoga teacher training, which is insane. She booked out an entire retreat. Now, she didn't do this from some fancy funnel system, because at that time she was still learning about how to establish an online business, and she was utilizing the bare minimum in terms of systems. What she did leverage is that she positioned her personal story to speak to a very targeted demographic. And because when she talked about it with so much conviction from a deep place of internal regulation, and as a result, her audience listened. They bought in to the value that she was providing. So if you're pouring your heart out in every single post, teaching left and right at all these studio classes, but you're still stuck constantly over giving for free, this video is for you. It's not necessarily your content that's the problem. It's the energy in which that's showing up. I'm going to be giving you 4 principles to begin to grow your high impact yoga and or wellness business with less content. Number 1 is get regulated. It's really about starting to work smarter and regulating your nervous system to feel safe receiving wealth. One of the reasons I stayed hustling in my business because I didn't actually feel safe receiving wealth beyond a certain point, more so beyond a particular number. And I wasn't able to actually bring in larger contracts or more wealth until I was able to re-regulate my nervous system to that of a wealth mindset. When I began to actually regulate my body to these larger numbers is when I was able to start to bring in more high cash months within my business. So when it comes to growing your business with less content, number 1 thing you want to do is get regulated. Number 2 is you want to speak from your personal story. Remember when I told you about my client who graduated from our non-performative yoga teacher training and hosted a sold-out luxury retreat in Baja, Mexico only a year or 2 after graduating from our yoga teacher training? It's because she leveraged her personal story to speak to mothers out there who relate to that particular story and who are looking for personal respite in a way that supports deeper states of regulation in their bodies through the practice of yoga. And that's how she was able to sell out that retreat. If you're constantly posting content all the time and you're not seeing the conversions, think about, is my personal story even in here in a way that allows my clients to really align with where I'm coming from? Think about your content as an opportunity to share your story and to support those out there who resonate with your personal story because they mirror those personal pain points and those desires. Principle number 3 is you need to stop posting generic yoga and or wellness content that falls into the scope of generic wellness propaganda. It's going in one ear and out the other, child. Ain't nobody listening because it doesn't really connect with their deeper why. This is why you want to utilize your personal story to really create an emotional resonance with your target demographic. We do not buy from people that we don't like, know, and trust. We buy from people that we do. And more so, what elicits that is when you're able to create an emotional resonance with your target demographic. When I was teaching Trap Vinyasa and the Divine Feminine Yoga Workshop, and even our non-performative yoga teacher training, there was so much transformation that was coming from people's personal stories because I was sharing my own. I wasn't talking about nothing generic. I created non-performative yoga because I was so tired of performing in the yoga industry, trying to keep up with all of my white counterparts who were doing the back bends and the handstands and all these things. And I needed my yoga practice for a different reason than that. I needed my yoga practice to settle and regulate my nervous system because I've always had such severe high functioning anxiety. So that's what I spoke to and continue to speak to. You want to move out of speaking to generic wellness propaganda and get very specific. Principle number 4, and this is going to really help you with posting less content with more clarity. It might actually encourage you to post more because you're actually more excited about posting. And that is identifying your unique target demographic. I can't tell you how many sales calls I get on with yoga teachers or wellness entrepreneurs. And I ask them, who is your target demographic? And they'll tell me something very generic like BIPOC, women of color. That does not speak to the unique pain points or desires of your target demographic. Just because we're people of color does not mean that we have the same pains and desires across the board, right? We're not a monolith. So why do you continue limit your target demographic to racial or ethnic indicators alone? My target demographic at this point, because I have different offers and programs, falls into 3 buckets. I speak to high-performing career women navigating through high-functioning anxiety. Secondly, my target demographic is established coaches and or service providers who are wanting to build a remote wellness business utilizing our non-performative yoga methodology. You'll notice that when it came to both of those target demographics, not one time did I speak to ethnicity or race. And I want to really speak to this because I struggled with this for a really long time. Should I speak only to women of color, or should I speak only to people of color? And I went back and forth around this for a long time. And I will say this is your own personal decision as an entrepreneur of color. However, I want you to play with something for a bit. Drop the ethnic identifier and give yourself an opportunity to list all of the other things beyond race that speak to the pain points and the desires of this particular target demographic. After you do all of that, if the race is still blaring at you, then keep it in there. But if it's not, then take it out. This was a huge practice for me because what I noticed is when I was speaking to the unique pain points and desires of trap vinyasa, it naturally attracted women of all races, women who had been experiencing so much sexual trauma and or sexual repression because of their own upbringing. When it came to a lot of the high-performing executive career women that I was speaking to who were dealing with this high level of stress, that actually attracted a lot of women of color because a lot of women of color are in elite executive positions, but because of the independent woman trope and this emphasis on our productivity being aligned with our worth, oftentimes it's women of color who are experiencing the most severe burnout in these executive positions. And lastly, with our yoga teacher training, that has continued to attract in multiple ethnicities and races, but more so people of color who are really committed to building a remote yoga and or wellness business utilizing our non-performative yoga methodology because they value inclusivity. So I invite you to use that as an opportunity to get clear as to who your target demographic is. And when you start to get so crystal clear as to who this individual is, you will start to notice posting is going to feel so much easier. It's going to feel like breathing, because you're no longer going to be struggling with what to say and who to say it to. Now, if this is resonating and you also want to get out of the habit of offering low ticket or free offers, and you want to start to speak to attracting more premium high ticket buyers, click the link up here or somewhat up here to watch this video on attracting high quality clients. Now, I'm actually going to be hosting a 5-day yoga business challenge where I break down what I just shared more in detail, more specifically breaking down how you can build your first 5-figure online launch in just 5 days from greater states of regulation. One of them is going to be around identifying your target demographic and leaning into their unique pain points and their unique desires to craft an irresistible online offer just for them. And I'm going to be working with you along the way for 5 days live to make sure that you leave with an irresistible 5-figure offer that you can launch right away. If you'd like to join the 5-day yoga business challenge, click the link below to join us in November. If you have any questions, you can always DM me personally on Instagram at Abiola Akani Official. In our next video, I'm going to be discussing why your free yoga content is not converting. We gonna get into it. So be on the lookout for that. I will see you very soon and continue to be well.